Yes, so Hairless here. Today we are back with Pentatonix and this is their performance from the sing-off Dog Days Are Over. This was the winner of our recent Pentatonix poll. I guess people really want to see this one. I consistently have been receiving requests for this one since I started reacting to Pentatonix all those months ago, which is rare for a sing-off performance. I wanted to do all of the sing-off performances and save this one till last, but that would take such a long time to get round to, so I'm very happy to be going ahead with this. The song, it's originally by Florence and the Machine. I don't really know their music. I didn't know this song by name, but when I went and listened to it, then yeah, I did recognize it. I actually saw Florence and the Machine at a festival a long time ago, over 10 years ago I think. I didn't know them though, didn't know their music, and I don't really remember it too well. Just some context that I have received in comments recommending this performance. Pentatonix were tired because it was right at the end of the show. They'd had a bad dress rehearsal before this performance apparently. This is the performance that decided who won the whole show. The vote was done by viewers rather than by the judges, which it had been previously. And it's supposedly Mitch's first Mitch slap, or at least the first public Mitch slap. I have watched the pre-performance comments made by the judges that aired as part of the TV show. The main takeaways is that the judges think Pentatonix are great. They love the innovation in their arrangements, and for this reason they don't want Pentatonix to lose sight of the original songs that they are performing. So let's get straight into this one.
Happiness hit her like a train on a track. Coming towards her, stuck, still no turning back. She hid around corners and she hid under beds. She killed it with kisses and from it she fled. The dog days are over. The dog days are done. The horses are coming. So you better run fast for your mother, fast for your father, run for your children, for your sisters and brothers. Leave all your love and your longing behind. You can't carry it with you if you want to survive. The dog days are over. The dog days are gone. Can you hear the horses? Here they come.
I know a Mitch slap is coming. I've heard that in the comments a lot. Is this it? Is this going to be it? It's a fairly short performance, 2.5 minutes or so, I think. So we'll watch it to the end, do the analysis afterwards. A quick copyright pause here won't do any harm. All right, let's go back just a few seconds and carry on.
Never wanted anything from you except everything you had, and what was left after that too.
Okay, well there we go. That's the performance that won Pentatonix the sing-off and then started this illustrious career of theirs. Hollywood Star of Fame, Grammys, who would have known? Who would have known watching this? Yeah, there are definitely some things I want to go over here. There were some really nice aspects of that arrangement. So we'll go over our analysis now, and then I will go and watch the judges' comments at the end. I think it will be interesting to hear what they have to say, and I do normally watch them but off video, but we'll do this one on video. So the key, they have moved key. The original song is in G, and they've gone to D. That's pretty much as far apart as keys can really be from each other, and they've obviously done this because of the arrangement, and Scott is belting really, really high up at the top of his chest voice for a fair bit of it. The stylistic differences of the opening. We have this crazy Avi and Kevin combination working so well. Since we've moved into the Matt era, I've not heard any Avi, so it's nice to see this combination working again.
Hit her like a train on a track.
If we compare to the original, also here, Pentatonix have a completely a cappella, well, single line, solo line in Scott opening up. So the end of the first line, in the original, Florence sings a D, and it's above an E minor chord. So the note she sings turns it into a minor seventh. Scott does the same here, but because they're in a different key, he is singing this note, and the chord underneath is this. So again, he turns it into a minor seventh. So it's already a non-standard chord that we're hearing. It's quite different, it's one that I'd call a little bit funky, but Pentatonix, they make it so much more so. It's so much more juicy, and this is right at the beginning. It's the very first harmony that we get. This is what we get. And now if we move all of these notes together, look at that scrunch. This minor seventh chord I showed earlier, this scrunch chord is actually the same chord in terms of notes, except this note is replaced by this note. That note there is the super tonic. You'll recognise that word because I seem to use it in every Pentatonix video, it seems. That just means it's the second note of the scale. Pentatonix seem to love to include that in their juicy chords. They repeat it, it's definitely grabbing our attention. And then we get the overtones from Avi. They're sublime. I wish I was there to just be able to experience their full effect. You know, listening to a recording through YouTube in my earphones, you don't get to experience it. Overtones, harmonics, you kind of feel them more than you hear them.
She hid around corners and she hid under beds. She killed it.
And the arrangement as well. It's cool rhythmically and from an accenting perspective. So the obvious parts here, we have Avi with the bass part and the overtones. Kevin providing the beat. We have Scott with the melody. Before we get into the other two parts, I just want to mention Scott. Great job as always, such good energy. His heavy vibrato really, really helps out here. This, yeah, it's not technically the best we've ever seen from Pentatonix. It's not a complaint, and due to the reasons that everyone seemed to be mentioning that I mentioned in the intro, such as it being the end of the run, they had a bad rehearsal, they're tired, but also because of the arrangement here, which is very interesting. Mitch has a very intense part. It seems very difficult, and I imagine it's very taxing to sing. He's singing these rapid fourths. It's just difficult to do so rapidly and to accurately hit the notes every time. I don't think anyone could do that consistently for a prolonged period, Mitch included, as we see here. Also, because of how difficult it is, it means that he's naturally stressing the upper note of the two, which we can hear bump, 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 bump. That's a good thing, I think, because the accenting, it works well in the context of this song, of this arrangement, especially when coupled with Kirsty's part. And as we so often see Mitch and Kirsty, they just work so well together. Kirsty's part is much simpler. It's a complete contrast to Mitch's. She's going
gilded with kisses, and from it she fled.
Repeating each note twice. You can see there's a little bit of tiredness there in her part, or maybe hesitance if they did have a bad dress rehearsal, but together working well. And we have Scott's melody with a heavy vibrato. We have Avi with these overtones, so cool. So altogether, a combination of all of these elements and varieties between the parts, it creates this full sound. So all of that, it's important because of the next bit. Musically, here there's not much going on compared to the other arrangements that we've seen.
The dark days are over. The dark days are done.
But it's so impactful. The swelling in and out, the dum 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 from Mitch, that stops on Dog before he then carries on in between before coming in the next time on Dog again. Visually too, them walking forward slowly.
Dark days are done.
It's tense.
Horses are coming.
This is tense. Sorry, I've said it about 5 times, but Mitch's part, switching between the stressed words and then dum 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 dum, it's a crazy part.
Says are coming, so you
Very, very tough part, even though it might not sound crazy technical because it's not rapid, quick changes of notes and huge runs. This is a part that not anyone can do, trust me on that. And back to Avi and Kevin, a prime example of them working together.
the horses are coming, so you
They're accentuating these spoken words, these stressed syllables, even though neither of them have words themselves. It's just a clever bit of arranging. All right, and then the next bit, I mean, back to Scott, center stage at the front. His energy, I think, is so important here. I think it's the savior of the performance. No, I don't want to say that because it's Pentatonix. It's a great performance, but it's definitely the center point. And it's so important considering the other parts. And just once more, Avi and Kevin, I think Scott, Avi and Kevin here, they're the 3 real important sounds in this arrangement in creating a full sound. Great energy. Then we get this nice decision to move to homophony. I find it kind of indicative that something's going to happen. There's going to be some sort of change. Nice little choreography as well. In general, I've liked the choreography in this one. Very, very symmetrical. And it seems to be Kirsty and Mitch, Avi and Kevin, and Scott. Very, very in line with the arrangement itself from a musical perspective. So we're thinking there's going to be some change, and then of course we get Mitch. We all love Mitch. What an incredible voice he has. So unique. I think I probably said that in my first reaction or second, which were Video Killed the Radio Star and Let's Get It On. Please do check them out in my Pentatonix playlist up there if you haven't already. But I'm just thinking about the risk they've taken with this here. Such a spotlight moment, and they've saved it for the last week.
anything from you.
To save Mitch Grassi for the last week, the willpower and the patience that must have taken, and the faith and the belief that they will make it all the way as well. Yeah, I mean, it's a lovely, lovely blended voice.
From you.
What a tone. And then we get this very, very quickly built up chord. Very, very precise actually. Let's listen to that again. Nice chord as well, that one. Interesting first 2 notes that we hear. Those first 2 notes are these. And Mitch is singing this. So together. And then we move back to the simple harmonies, the simple rhythms.
You had and what was left after that too.
This little 3-chord pattern, by the way, this is what we've seen in some of their other arrangements, such as Little Drummer Boy.
What was left after that too.
But yeah, this is a complete release from all the busyness that we had before, which in turn will exaggerate the busyness that's to come. And Mitch's little swells in and out of the notes, they're nice too. They're the most active thing we've got going on. Alright, so then what happens, we've got Kevin, the train, he sounds like a train, in the background. And Mitch with his belted A. That's pretty high, it's basically the top of a tenor range. But then Scott comes in on the G just underneath him. So also pretty high. And for Scott, whose voice is lower set in general. And then Kirsty comes up here. And then Avi has these 2 notes. So contextually, on an individual level, everything is quite high here, which you typically get for the climactic moments. And yeah, as I mentioned before, I think in this performance, Scott is the MVP. So much passion and energy.
If you wanna survive, the dark days are over. The dark days are gone. If you wanna survive, can you hear the horses?
Well, yeah, I feel bad saying that because it is all of them, you know, it's such a team effort. They've got themselves there the whole journey. Yeah, all of them. This performance is definitely a statement. It's well worthy of claiming them the victory, I think. You can see by the crowd's reactions, by the standing ovation they immediately get. Technically, this performance maybe is not the most perfect, but it's definitely one that we feel, that we, you know, experience. All right, well, I think maybe we should go over the judges' comments.
Pentatonix, man, you guys are ridiculous, man. Like, that was like audio drama. We're coming down to the wire of this record contract. So you want to have something that you know that you can play, and everybody is like, yo, that is crazy. That's what, you know, this whole thing is about. Mitch, woo! I'm gonna tell you, man, you have one of the prettiest voices I have ever heard in my life.
Yes, that is how you describe Mitch's voice, I think. Pretty. As I said again, since the first time, I'm getting goosebumps here actually. As I said, since the first time I ever heard them, the fact that Mitch can blend so well with Kirsty and with anyone else. His voice is a kind of hybrid between, well, a man and a woman's voice. His range, it just seems to defy biological expectations. It's a pretty voice, amazing voice, unique voice, yeah.
Life. There was so many elements that was just ear candy, from Kevin and the horse hooves and the choo-choo trains that you were doing to, you know, the breakdown to Mitch. And that was so ingenious, like the way that you guys were able to just give Mitch his moment. And you were, that was...
Yeah, I say risky leaving the Mitch spotlight moment till the last week, but tactically a bit of genius perhaps.
Man, it was a wonderful performance. That was awesome.
Sarah.
You guys are you're riveting on stage. You know how to use your instrument, and it's a God-given gift, and you guys all have it. So really, really fantastic performance. I learned today that 3 of you are 19 years old. Mr. Scott, singing the lead on that, is 19, am I correct?
19.
Miss Kirsty is 19 years old, and Mr. Mitch is 19 years old as well. So...
Wait, so did they not know their ages the whole show before this?
What we have here is a young group of people that show so much promise and potential to become even that much more great over time. I love hearing you sing.
Well, if only she could see where they'd be 10, 11 years... Wait, when was it? 2011, 13 years later.
Well done, you guys. It was fantastic.
Ben?
Surprises are a rare gift in a musical arrangement. They're hard to come by, and you guys always give us 1 or 2 of those in every performance. And that one was where Mitch popped in this time. And it's not just about the fact that he has a beautiful voice, which he does, partially the way you guys set that up. And then you get a surprise. You guys were so focused. And Avi didn't even want to let go of the focus after the song was done.
Yeah.
He was just like,
My God.
that.
Avi was feeling it.
That's really in the moment amazing. Thanks for the surprises, guys. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Nice work.
Not too much in terms of specific details or aspects of the arrangement there, but I mean, yeah, I think we all agree with what they've said there. All right, well, let's leave that one there. Pentatonix, their final performance on the sing-off. They won the sing-off, and, well, I guess we should all thank them for that, for all of the music that they've put out since then. Yeah, I just wish there was more time and more hours in each day and week so I could explore them quicker than I am. But patience is a virtue. All right, let's leave that one there. Thank you to everyone who voted in the poll, and as always, thank you for watching. Would appreciate a like and subscribe. If you enjoy my content, want to support me, join the community, vote on future polls, you can do so by joining the Patreon linked on the screen now, and I will see you next time.